To all the staff, I'll also say, you guys know I usually speak off the cuff and don't often pre-rehearse anything I say. Today's a little bit different, though. I wanted to make sure that I could really capture the feelings that I think I have and I think all of us have about our guest of honor today. And so I actually wrote everything down, so you're going to get a little pre-written speech from me. So to most of you guys, or to our guests, I'll start by saying thank you. Sadly, our teachers don't often get the thanks that they deserve in this profession. As a staff, we talk a lot about the thank yous that come few and far between and how we really have to maximize those and cherish those and look for other ways to know that the impact we're having. So when we have an opportunity like this, we want to make sure that when we're saying thank you in such a big way, that it makes it more meaningful to have other people here like yourselves. We want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to hear about the work that Mr. Griggs has done. For students, I think most of you guys know by here. All the adults know why we're here. But for you, we're here today celebrating one of your teachers that you probably, or one of the teachers in particular. Someone who, whether you had him in your homeroom or not, everybody absolutely knows by now, Mr. Griggs. I see the respect that faculty and staff give him, so I know I cannot put into words what he means to our Camp Taylor community and the hundreds of students that have been lucky to have him as a teacher. Just looking at our guests, it's pretty clear. Beyond me, we have 3 current JCPS principals and 1 retired principal in this room, all of which took time out of their busy day because they know how much he's meant to them and to everybody else here. I'm going to try to articulate his amazing character and ability anyways. I'll start by making sure that everybody knows, first and foremost, Mr. Griggs is an amazing educator. While teachers are asked to do more and more for the well-being of students and families, the metrics that most people judge us by are simply academic acquisition, whether that's fair or not. So let's start there. Although accountability testing data is just one piece of the bigger picture, it's still important data. On that front, 5 of the first 6 years of data that I pulled from Mr. Griggs, him and his team have outperformed every other grade level in overall proficient distinguished rates by at least 10% in all but one of those years. I stopped there, but I believe the trend would have held true no matter how far back I go. You think that's an anomaly? Let's look at MAP data. MAP data paints an even more impressive picture. Year after year, Mr. Griggs students show more growth than almost any other teacher you can find, not just in the building, but anywhere. Since our return from COVID alone, Mr. Griggs students have not had a single winter or spring assessment where they did not earn at least 100% of their expected growth points. Sometimes that amount was over 150%. During that same time, on average, 70% of his students met or exceeded an individual growth expectations. For those of you in the room that aren't familiar with that assessment and what I'm talking about, if you pull data from 100 different teachers, you'd be hard-pressed to find 3 that could do that. Mr. Griggs is without exception the gold standard when it comes to teaching. The part that amazes me the most is how he does it. I've had the pleasure to watch Mr. Griggs for 11 years, and in those years I've developed a pretty solid understanding of what makes him so impactful. I think he'd admit it's not always what you think of when you describe the perfect elementary school classroom. Every teacher has their own style, and it's not just in his nature to put on a show. You may not see meticulously curated materials or whimsical lessons. He may not share a visually appealing Google Sheet during PLCs, and he may even miss a deadline or 3. If you sit with Mr. Griggs' class for just a few minutes, though, you'll see a couple things. First, Mr. Griggs has the most innate ability to make things relevant. He can take any skill or topic and relate it to the needs in kids' lives in a way that never ceases to amaze me. He takes any student's questions that challenge the relevancy of the work at hand and makes sure that students buy in. Don't understand why you need to be able to explain how specific aspects of a text's illustrations contribute to an effect, including but not limited creating the mood, character, or setting? Mr. Griggs has it covered. Not sure why you need to represent a problem using equations or assess the reasonableness of an answer? Mr. Griggs is your guy. I couldn't do it if I tried and have not seen any other teacher come close to that ability. Secondly, long before student discourse became the current buzzword of best practice, Mr. Griggs was writing the book on it. Questions are encouraged, students' point of view is honored, and no one's opinion is disregarded. Every student feels heard and a part of the classroom community. With that comes Mr. Griggs' internal drive to ensure that every student is moving forward. There's no favorites in the classroom. There's no one less capable, and not a single student he can't talk about in detail regarding strengths and weaknesses. I'm not sure where that drive comes from, but it feels like every student in his room is the most important student there ever was. There are no days off, and there is no missed minute. But somehow Mr. Griggs does more than that. The list of examples of his care and concern and effort for students across the building could be endless. I'd say Mr. Griggs has been to more homes dropping off students, attended more sporting events than most educators would even care to if they have time. He coached basketball and volleyball. He supported our men of quality. And even though I'm pretty sure he's not spent much time on a stage in his younger days, he supported our Disney musical most of the last 5 years. I think all of us who have had the pleasure to work with him could tell our own story, so I'll just leave you with one. As an administrator, some of the less desirable tasks are those related to operations. Now, I hate to bring this up with Dr. Polio here, but I'm going to have to. I'm sure he would like to completely forget about the last year, but for us, the transportation struggles put a strain on everything we did here. The impact on instruction from late buses was constant, and by the end of an already long day, the prospect of hanging out for an extra hour or so with the 75 kids who were ready to go home did not always gather a lot of volunteers. But every day as I walked back up the hallway from bus rider duty, checking on the status of our buses in the front hall, I'd pass the gym, or in the front office, I'd pass the gym. And almost every single one of those days, I'd see Mr. Griggs in there. Among kids sprawled out across the gym floor, eating snacks, playing whatever games they could to pass time, I'd find him in there. I'm proud and thankful for most of the staff members during that time, but it was not too uncommon on some days to see only Mr. Griggs. There he was, parked in a rolling chair, bag of treats in hand, with a smartboard pulled up to him. And when almost every other person, including myself, would have been putting on Disney Plus to pass the time, Mr. Griggs is teaching. He seriously was sitting there teaching multiplication to kindergartners almost every single day. If that was not enough, he had to be told multiple times to fill out any extra service form and almost never did it anyways. To Mr. Griggs, I'll just say this: the product of your work doesn't often come to fruition until long after kids have left your class. It may be easy for you to dismiss the impact of all that you do. As adults, we see the bigger picture. For kids, though, it's actions like yours they build their understanding of the world on. We can all look back at a person who spent relatively small time in our lives, yet they hold an incomparable importance to us. You're likely that person for a lot of kids in this city. I want to say thank you, not just from me personally, but from all your peers and students that don't get to speak today. And with that, guys, we have several different guests that are going to take it from here, starting with, for the second time, guys, you guys, we've been lucky enough to have Dr. Polio visiting us.
What's my guy's name on the line, sir? Lamonte. My man, Lamonte, thanks for the round of applause, buddy. You really got into it, man. You're my guy. You're my guy. All right, how many people are going to have a part in Finding Nemo? All right, a good night. Is it going to be good? Yeah. All right. Should I come? Yeah. All right, I'm going to try my best to get here. But they said I have to have a ticket, and they didn't know if there was any. They were sold out. I said I think they. I know. They said I think they'd let me in, but we'll find a way to sneak in. Maybe, I don't know. So, guys, I'm so happy to be here with the Cougars. Y'all are the Cougars, right? All right. This is my second time in about 2 weeks to be with you guys, and I absolutely love being in this school, mainly because I know how great the students are and how great the teachers are in this school. Am I right? Yeah. All right. Give a round of applause to all your teachers. Now, I want to tell you this, students. This award is pretty special, okay? This is not something that a whole lot of people get. Have you all ever heard of the Academy Awards? The Academy Awards are the awards that movies get for like the best movie of the year. And there can be thousands of movies put out every year, but they only give one best movie of the year. Just like that, with the ExCEL Awards, you know how many teachers there are in JCPS? 6,500 teachers. 6,500. And then only about 5 JCPS teachers get this award out of that many. So imagine that. Imagine how impressive it is that only 5 of these teachers get this award. And guess what? Camp Taylor has one of those 5 of the all 6,500 teachers in the entire district. That's how special this award is. And we get to come and give it to Mr. Griggs today. So that is just so amazing. So I'm going to tell you this. I've done this for 8 years, and probably if it's about 5 a year, I've done this about 40 times over the past 8 years. And all the teachers have something in common that I've given it to. First and foremost, they really care about the kids in their class. Like, they will do anything for them, spend extra time. It is just amazing how much they care about the kids in their class. Then they care about every kid in the whole school. They do extra stuff to help the kids in the school be successful. And then finally, they'll stay as late as they need to and do whatever is needed for all the kids in the school. And their day doesn't end right at when the last bus leaves. They're doing whatever it takes to help kids out. And clearly, Mr. Griggs is one of those people that does that. I won't get into his achievement like Mr. Stanton did, which was amazing, the work he does with you all with math. But instead, I want to say what some of his fellow teachers have said about Mr. Griggs. So his colleagues have said, Mr. Griggs understands what it takes to create a school culture and community that supports the whole child. He attends every school event, waits with late buses, and hasn't turned in an extra service sheet for a single one of them. And you could have, I'm telling you, you could have turned in that extra service sheet. Another said, the respect and rapport Mr. Griggs has built with students and families throughout the years reaches far beyond our school building and the students he has directly served. There are very few people in our city that have built such strong connections with so many people. We are so lucky to have him at Camp Taylor. And finally, Mr. Griggs' contributions to Camp Taylor Elementary have had a profound impact on the lives of so many young learners. We are so grateful for his tireless efforts and commitment to excellence. And so I want to take this opportunity to thank a couple of folks here that are with us today that make this possible to recognize great teachers. First and foremost, WHAS 11, thank you so much as always for supporting our great teachers. I'd also like to thank Miracle Playgrounds of Kentucky and Tennessee for sponsoring this award. And you'll see what that means by sponsoring here in a little while. And so thank you so much. Mr. Griggs, how long have you been at Camp Taylor?
Since 2001.
2001, which, since he's a math teacher, how many years has he been here? 24. Clearly he taught you well. So 24 years. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And guess what? I bet the kids that he taught in 2001 probably have kids of their own now. And are there any in here that second generation?
They're in the building. I've seen them.
In the building. That's absolutely amazing. Impacted generations of kids. So congratulations, Mr. Griggs. On behalf of Jefferson County Public Schools, you are an ExCEL Award winner.
And we have, it's not often that you can say this now with teachers and movement as often as it happens. We have somebody that can probably speak to Mr. Griggs more personally than I can. Ms. Muller has a few words. I believe they've taught together for how many years now?
20.
20 years teaching on the same team.
You know, I got to put my glasses on to see here. Griggs, how did this happen? The two people that hate to talk end up having to talk today.
This was
But
your job.
here,
You were the talker.
here we are. Here we are. Good afternoon. My name is Kathy Muller. I'm a teacher here at Camp Taylor, and I've had the privilege of being a teammate with Mr. Griggs for the past 20 years. Today we are here to celebrate Mr. Griggs for being named the 2025 ExCEL Award winner. While Mr. Griggs is very humble and he doesn't like drawing attention to himself, I'm here to spread the word, and in total Griggs style, I'm going to tell you straight from my heart. Although he hasn't left yet, Mr. Griggs is already a legend here at Camp Taylor. At this point, he has actually taught some of the sons and daughters of his prior students. Our open houses at Camp Taylor are like a family reunion. Students from previous years often come back to visit, and everyone wants to go find Mr. Griggs, talk to him about old times, and share their newest endeavors. Over the years, Mr. Griggs has mentored, coached, and he's been a role model for so many students. He was fondly remembered as he's referred to as Coach Griggs, as he volunteered many nights and weekends, helping our students learn teamwork, sportsmanship, and maybe even a few basketball skills. Whether it be academics, sports, or just dealing with real life, Mr. Griggs has always been there to guide and support the students at Camp Taylor. He truly has a gift for teaching with his own unique style, right? You can always count on Mr. Griggs to be honest and just tell it like it is. While you all know Mr. Griggs as being a wonderful teacher, I also know him as being a wonderful husband, I'm not going to cry, husband, father, and friend. Mr. Griggs is all about his family, and he'd tell you that being a dad and raising his kids has been the greatest joy in his life. Luckily, I've gotten to be part of Mr. Griggs's work family. We started working together 20 years ago. We've spent our entire teaching careers together here at Camp Taylor. We've laughed a lot, for sure. I've cried, you probably have cried a few times. We've supported one another, and we have literally raised our kids here in the hallways, running up and down at Camp Taylor. So, in closing, I just want to say, I couldn't have asked for a better teammate to have spent the last 3,356 planning periods with. Get in here. Okay? I am so proud of you. Receiving this award is such an amazing way to end your career. You are truly a legend here at Camp Taylor, and congratulations on being named the 2025 ExCEL Award winner.
And next up, I think we have Miss Grace McKenna from WHAS.
Hey there, y'all. I'm very excited to be with you today. My name is Grace McKenna, and I anchor Good Morning Kentuckiana on WHAS 11, which is why I'm here with all of you. The ExCEL Awards recognize teachers who go above and beyond in their classrooms, and this is actually the 36th year that we've been honoring teachers from all across our community in JCPS and all across Kentuckiana. I want to ask you all to do a little bit of something for me while I'm talking about Mr. Griggs here. It's not just for the current students in the room, it's for all of the teachers and parents and all of the adults here as well. If you have ever had a teacher who went above and beyond, who made you feel seen, or who made some really important lesson click, I want you to raise your hand for me. Yeah? That is a lot of people, almost all of the people in the room, and that is the impact of teachers. In small ways and in big ways, they go above and beyond every single day. They give of themselves to help us learn and grow and become the people that we were meant to be. One of my above and beyond teachers was Ms. Krieger, my economics teacher in high school. She helped us see how the concepts we were learning about in class had impacts on every part of our lives. My favorite lesson actually, and this is a bit of an aside, but was this sort of faux Shark Tank assignment where we were responsible for either like proving that a product was really, really cool or weighing the costs and benefits of investing. And it was a memorable lesson in life and in economics. It was a memorable assignment from a really memorable teacher. And you all had this to say about your memorable teacher, Mr. Darren Griggs. Mr. Griggs has an amazing ability to tie academic skills to real-world situations that make learning more meaningful and keep students engaged. That's part of what has led to his measurable success, with the vast majority of his students meeting or exceeding growth scores. You described him as a master teacher who has high expectations and makes parents a key part of student success. You added that he's deeply involved through basketball, men of quality, and attending school events. You said that very few other people in the city have built such strong connections with so many other people. For those reasons and many, many more that have been mentioned here this afternoon, Mr. Griggs, WHAS 11 is so proud to say that you are a 2025 ExCEL Award winner. This is very happy.
All right, and we have one more guest before we get to hear from Mr. Griggs himself. So I believe up next we have, or two more guests. So I believe up next we have Miss Phillips, Miss Patton from Miracle Playground.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Victoria with Miracle Playgrounds, and it is with great pride that we at Miracle Playgrounds congratulate Mr. Griggs on receiving the ExCEL Award. Mr. Griggs' unwavering dedication to his students, his innovative teaching methods, and his passion for fostering growth have made a lasting impact on everybody that he teaches. At Miracle Playgrounds, we believe in the transformative power of educators like Mr. Griggs, who consistently goes above and beyond to create positive, supportive learning environments. His commitment to uplifting and empowering students aligns perfectly with our mission to inspire and enrich communities. We are honored to celebrate Mr. Griggs and the remarkable difference that he makes in the lives of his students, their families, and his colleagues. And again, congratulations, Mr. Griggs, and thank you for all that you do. And I would like to award you with this check today. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I had a feeling that'd be the highlight. All right, and we also have Miss Maddie Shepard representing JCTA here.
Hi, Camp Taylor Elementary, parents, teachers, and of course, third graders. My name's Maddie Shepard. I'm an elementary teacher. Like Mr. Griggs, I've taught third grade, I've taught fourth grade, fifth grade, second grade, and I'm gonna be quick because I know how long that a third grade attention span and an adult attention span after lunch can last, and I know we're nearing the end. And you really wanna hear from Mr. Griggs. So my job is the president of the Jefferson County Teachers Association. My job is to help teachers have everything they need to keep doing what Mr. Griggs does. Making you feel special, making you feel smart, and making you feel like you can do anything. How many of you have laughed because of something Mr. Griggs has said or done? How many of you have tackled something really difficult that you weren't sure you could do because you had Mr. Griggs with you? How many of you feel smarter because of Mr. Griggs? This is what teachers do. I bet there are some of you in this room that are going to be future lawyers or attorneys, and you can write really great opinions and be great arguers because Mr. Griggs taught you how to write opinion pieces. There will be some of you that own your own restaurants, And you'll attribute everything you learned about fractions to Mr. Griggs. But the truth is you can do anything you want to do because Mr. Griggs is one of the people that helped you get there. You're one of the teachers that is why I do what I do, Mr. Griggs. You change lives, you inspire generations, and Louisville is a better place because of you. JCTA is so proud to have you as one of our members, and I know Louisville is proud to have you as one of its teachers. So before we hear from Mr. Griggs, one more round of applause. And a square of applause. And a triangle of applause. Congratulations, Mr. Griggs.
Well, I'm pretty sure I don't need the microphone, but we'll use it anyway. First off, like thank God, he's ahead of my life. And so we're going to thank him first, and then we're going to move on and say thank you to WHAS 11 and to the Miracle Playgrounds of Kentucky and Tennessee for your involvement with this award. Thanks for the recognition. It's something that really caught me by surprise. My first response was to, can I send it back? That's just who I am. I didn't need it. I wasn't looking for it. But moving on, just wanted to say thank you to Ms. Whiteley. I want to say thank you to other principals that I've dealt with, in Mr. Shanton, all the team members here at Camp Taylor that are part of what I call the Camp Taylor family. I think of you each, every day, almost. So that's important to me. Kids, then Camp Taylor family includes you too. You are a part of it forever. I'll see you one day and you'll be like, who is that? And I'll be like, hey, did you go to Camp Taylor? And I do it to lots of kids. You can look at my wife and my children and they see it all the time. And I think I did it just the other day. We were at a restaurant, right? And of course, most of the times I'm right, but sometimes I'm wrong. But that's who I am. I try to remember faces. I struggle with names. You know that if you're in my class. So moving on, special thanks once again, Ms. Muller, Ms. Hayes. You taught me when to shut up, when I needed to be quiet and just not say anything, and to allow the meeting to go on, and we'll straighten it out later. Hey, that's big for me. To my family, thank you for supporting me in all that I do. Thank you for supporting me in the late night car rides to take other students home or from basketball, or we can't go out of town until after this is over because we had to take kids home from step team practice, basketball practice, volleyball game. We had to go to the soccer game before we could go, or whatever it is. You've been there, you've seen it all. Darren, days that you've had to spend at Camp Taylor in the library, the gym, just somewhere out of the way while we had practice or a program, play practice, whatever it is. You've been here for it all. Thank you. Moving forward, I don't really have much else to say, but thank you, kids, for allowing me to work with you and to be a part of your lives, allowing me to feel like maybe I can touch the future a little bit through you. Once again, I just want to say that, just like I say, hey, guys, you got to try. You got to do it. Remember, in closing, that just like what is it? Let me get right there. I'm losing my place. Just remember, like I said, moving forward, you're always going to come to a point where you have to do something, and it's just remember, start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. In closing, I'd like to say thank you again to WHAS. Thank you to the Miracle Playground. Thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Stanton. I guess you were the one that nominated me. Thank you very much. We're going to just move on from there. Thank you again, everybody. Like I said, moving forward, you've got to make a choice. I know a lot of the co-workers here in the building now are making choices. Remember, sometimes just pick the best one you can pick and live with the results of that. I chose to stay at Camp Taylor on a couple of occasions when I thought about leaving, and I've never regretted it. All right. Thank you again.